This is my affidavit about what really happened. It's meant to be helpful to, in sign language, explain what happened. Will Zellbrom have been talking about a scheme to transform the human race by injecting the blood when I knew him in art school before AIDS got started. And he was up at a Mount Desert Island immunogenetics laboratory, so I pursued him, and I got proof of this contested claim in his own handwriting admitting the operation that they were pulling. Nothing else applied to the situation. I came back to Pittsburgh and discovered that a control narrative had been launched and forged into place to justify the operation on Mount Desert Island, to mislead about what it meant, and to deny the postcard from Will Zellbrom and what it said and what it meant. I didn't understand where it was coming from. Gweener had people like Toni Morrison, Maya Angelou, Oprah Winfrey all saying, let us control the master narrative, let us control the master narrative. But none of that made any sense. I was just trying to get police identification and warning about this premeditation in the attack. It turned out that they had written a script from Israel which decoded into a tour de force cultural justification. And all of these black people were in on it. I mean, you like to think of black people as being victims of society. I mean, you don't like to think of it, but as victims of society, you like to think of them as being protective of victims of society. But protectiveness was out of the question. They didn't want to protect anybody except their duplicity and their control narrative. And that's just the truth. I wish it wasn't true. I wish that somebody who is black and powerful and influential from the Board of Education, or who knew my father, a friend of my father, had come over to me, sat down on a bench with me, and said, Jimmy, that's terrible and frightening, and I see what you're up against. I want you to know that I care about you, and I believe you, and I understand. I wish that that had happened, but it didn't. So I'm obligated. This isn't like a UW sensibilities exam where you say, oh, do 40 ministrations to the black man, 40 ministrations to the Asian American, 40 ministrations to the Native American. It's not that kind of ludicrous media pretzel. It's simple truth. They were coming in with this vampire attack, saying we must suck your blood, we must pull your penis, we must set you up with one virgin and give Barack Obama bragging rights over Midori Goto. And they even have a Japanese company in pornography named Joe. For Biden, probably. And in the movies Matrix and the reality Matrix, they have the same story colliding. A one-night stand with the other ethnicity. So you get that and we get this. It's a why not swap from the Army. It's Army pussy ball. And it was all clocked from back in 1969. And they claimed, oh, we discovered it in 1980. They didn't discover it in 1980. They didn't even have to look at the letters because they sent them. And then they say, the rabbit they pull out of the hat, the bunny. was they say John Lennon. Nah, nah. So the way that I see it, and I think it's the correct way to see it, is that they had a depth charge of this story about Lennon to delay warning people about what Will Zell Brown was doing on Mount Desert Island. That's what they did. They did as a diversion from Hollywood. Clint Eastwood and his gang set that up with Reagan and Lee Marvin. It was just like somebody got laugh, guffaw laugh, got the idea to beat Jimmy's brains in, take him crying and lead him around in fear, and then say, "Ha ha, nobody's going to listen to you because you could have saved John Lennon." And that was the storm of sound that Seattle came and poisoned me in the mouth about. They poisoned me in the mouth. They said they had this voodoo idea. They called it black psychology. You must suffer contagion. And Yoko Ono and Ichiro Suzuki were posing with syringes. You must suffer contagion. You must suffer contagion. And it's like Tokyo Shock horror cinema. And they were allowed to do this. They were allowed to rip or murder Shannon Harps. They were allowed to steal millions of dollars worth of books from the museum. They were allowed to lie about the evidence because Peter Gabriel said virginity proves rape, and that covered the whole thing. Virginity proves rape. The girl in question said, "No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I was never raped." He said, "Shh, shh. I'm dealing with the bad man, honey." And he starts putting in marquees. Crimes are Miss Seaman North. This was Peter Gabriel's madness. And Seattle's going, yeah, yeah, Peter Gabriel, yeah, Ringo, yeah. Ripper murdering people, poisoning people in the mouth to justify refusal to look at the real factor in the whole smorgasbord of weirdness. Like you'll see clip after clip after clip after clip, evidence after evidence after evidence after evidence, and you get to put it together from a bewildering myriad of surface details, as Pope Carl puts it in his tract. But only one thing really was my hard work producing the proof of Will Zell, having prior knowledge and talking about it way back when. The rest of it just shows that I'm right. That's all. And they make it out like, oh, they're brainies. What's brainy about torturing people? What's brainy about not giving people information so that they can be kept safe? What's brainy about that? I don't get how that's brainy. And while they're being brainy, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years have gone by with the fossil fuel industry gobbling, 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 and making nuclear bombs and dropping 2,000-pound bombs on tents now. 2,000 bombs on tents. And guess who's going to come and straighten you out? But Evan Nauer from ATS in Pittsburgh, a garage rock band, he's going to say, no, Jimmy Creary was coming to garage rock concerts uninvited. And people are going to go, oh, wow, we got the truth out of Evan Nauer. We now know what really happened. And while they're dropping 2,000-pound bombs on Gaza, I went into 1994. This is certifiable. This is verifiable. This is in the record. In a Carnegie Mellon University publication, and said the evidence shows that Israel is after revenge for Auschwitz. Those were my exact words. Revenge for Auschwitz. And Evan Nauer came and said, no, Jimmy was coming to garage rock concerts uninvited. And Peter Gabriel was going, that's the truth. And Maya Angelou was going, that's more than the truth. And the police were going, hardy har har.